Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this episode we're going to talk about something called Python and
implement something called the course, or we want to talk about two courses, which are Python courses and the cybersecurity courses. Per episode, per week, we have what we call the videos that we're gonna post per week until we understand how to make our own Python with zero help of AI. Even though sometimes using the AI could solve some many major problems, but mind you, a person that is learning Python has no clue to make the use of the AI well accurately. Why did I say this? Let me explain. The best approach between the pro coder and the vibe coder, which are the Control C and Control V users, who are only known by copying and pasting the exact code that an AI gave to them. So the only difference between the pro coder and the vibe coder is that even though the pro coder can copy and paste, but most of the time he understands what he copy and paste. Because let me give you an example. Imagine you copy and paste the whole script that a ChatGPT wrote you with zero understanding that how that thing works. So the real game will start when you come to debug that code. By that time you will understand that the reality is you need a real core content of how you to do this coding. So if your mind is I just want to copy and paste, so this is not the right channel for you. But if your mind is I'm here to sacrifice my time and learn a step by step how to code the back end coding, we're only gonna focus on Python courses, Python coding. So in this episode, after the introduction, in this episode we want to talk about what is Python. Many people are hearing the word Python. So what is Python? Python is just a simple programming language that people use that code to make a computer understand what people want to make the computer understood. Let me re-explain. Simply, it's a programming language that help users interact with computer. So this is simply Python. Python is a programming language that helps user to interact with the computer. Simply as that, nothing more, nothing less. It's a programming language designed for a user to interact with the computer. Why I say this? Because a computer cannot understand a few language like this language. Python cannot understand. If I want to say computer do this to me, do that to me, the computer will not understand. Why? Because the computer was compromised or computerized based on binaries, based on binary numbers. The computer was computerized based on binary numbers. Computer only understand ones and zeros. So how can you make the computer understand? What are you gonna try to tell the computer to do that thing to you? So that is where the programming language comes in. So that is nothing more, nothing less. It's just a way for a user to interact with the computer, because computer cannot understand a few simple language except it is a binary numbers. So there is when the Python program or any programming language comes in to help user make and generate something, make their idea come into reality. So that is nothing more, nothing less. In simple terms, this is Python. It's a programming language that helps user to interact with the computer. Simply, nothing more, nothing less. That is. So in this lesson, I think let me call that lesson 1. Sorry, I mean lesson 1. So in this lesson 1, we learn about what is Python. So after learning about what is Python, so how can a person interact with that computer that we say? Any programming language help a user to interact with the computer by commanding the computer to do this, and the computer will convert that program that you give it to into it is understandable binary code and interprets, then give the result to you. So as example, after knowing what is Python, so there is come in what we call the functions. Let me mark them. The functions. Sorry. What are the functions? Functions are a reusable block of codes. A reusable block of code is that there is a built-in function and a man-made or user-made function. What is a building function? The building function is a ready-made function that the Python program already provided that code to users for them to use it. Example, any Python program starts with this print function. So this print function is a building function. The programming language already has this print function as it is built-in function. So that is example of building function. So what about demand main function? We will come to that, but demand main function also has this def function, which is this def function. Let me explain. This def function is a function. It itself is a function that help users to make or generate their own function, like this print function. This def function help users to make their own function. So we have two types of functions: the main function, which are the ready-made function, and the user-made function. The user-made function can only define user. Let's say user func. So you define this function. So what remains? Just interpret what you want that function to do. So that is all what it remains. So we want to talk about all these functions and how to use it in the upcoming series.
So that is all we have for today. Thank you for listening, and make sure you click that subscribe button. It will not cost you anything. See you next lesson.